Good afternoon, and welcome to the United Beverage Virtual Happy Hour. Kick back, relax, enjoy some laughs and some libations. Let's see who's joining us on the United Beverage Virtual Happy Hour.
Welcome, everybody, to the United Beverage Virtual Happy Hour. This is Jared Allen here. I bring in my good friend, colleague, work partner, Mr. Joe Malone right now. Joe, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. What's up?
Not too much. How you doing? How's today going?
I'm exhausted. It's been a busy day.
Yeah, exactly.
I just made it to Sheffield and back in an hour and 10 minutes, going the speed limit.
That's right. So you took the prize pack to our winner today.
Yeah.
Which is very, very
cool. The picture so you can throw it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely do that. I bring in Evie Calise. Evie is enjoying a beautiful day. And speaking of weather, I also bring in today's special guest, meteorologist Chris Nelson.
Hello.
Today.
What's up, man?
Welcome, everybody, to the United Beverage Virtual Happy Hour as we get ready to kick off your July 4th holiday weekend. Thanks to our good friends at United Beverage. And, Joe, back to the whole winter thing with the July 4th prize pack. So, obviously, she was pretty excited about that because that was a pretty sweet prize that she won.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. We had a cooler, which you'll see in just a little bit as soon as the internet does what the internet does. $100 worth of fireworks from Bellino Fireworks, $50 to Mason City Hy-Vee, the cooler courtesy of United Beverage Happy Hour, and also 6 passes to Adventureland. And I hear they got a brand new roller coaster there, so that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to Adventureland coming up here a little bit later this
we are?
summer. Well, my family.
Yeah, I know, right?
My children. Yeah, well, we could probably arrange that, Chris. You know, we've got the passes. So let's get rocking and rolling here today. Let's talk about 4th of July traditions. Obviously, July 4th holiday weekend is upon us. July 4th traditions. Chris, do you have any July 4th traditions, family traditions, or anything that you guys do over the July 4th holiday?
Yeah, so growing up, for me, we always went to my uncle's father's. So you would think like, hey, isn't that your grandpa? It's actually my aunt or my brother's. Hey, Toby, quiet. Of course, my dog. I could go for 30 minutes and an hour of not doing anything, and all of a sudden I go on TV or on the radio here, and I have my dog barking. So it's my uncle who's actually my aunt, which is my dad's sister, if that makes sense. So it's not our family. His dad always had a big celebration for the 4th of July every year. I mean, they would spend, I'm not even kidding you, probably $5,000 to $10,000 on fireworks. So it was absolutely.
What kind of
Chris's mail's here?
Yeah.
Is your mail here?
Is that the mailman at the door?
No, I have our people that are cutting our lawn. Worst timing in the world. Come here. Get over here.
Hey, it's
So
never a boring happy hour.
That's right. What kind of dog do you have? Can we see your dog?
He's a Wheaton Terrier. Hold on. Let's see if I can get him up here. Come here,
This is so appropriate since we just had Pet at Work Day.
Oh yeah, okay, there he
I'm not
is.
even supposed to be lifting with my arm, but I had to show you.
Okay, yeah. So his name's Toby, huh?
It's Toby. He's a Wheaton Terrier. He's about 50 pounds and incredibly obnoxious when he has to be, but a really, really good dog.
Sure.
Our 4th of July tradition now involves my wife's family. We go to the lake house, which is in Wisconsin, and we've done that for the last 12 years or so. And there's probably about 15 to 20 people that end up going to this lake house, which is near the Wisconsin Dells area. Drinking, appropriate for happy hour, lots of food, and just chilling, being around family.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Evie, what about you? July 4th traditions. What do you guys do for the 4th?
Well, typically, I mean, growing up, I grew up in Clear Lake, so 4th of July and the carnival and everything in my younger years. But typically, we would go up to the cabin over the 4th of July. This year we have a different family member going up there. They chose the 4th of July this year, which is fine and great. And so we're going to do a barbecue here with a few friends, just hang out at the house. And we purchased fireworks. So we're going to shoot off some fireworks. And I'm out in the country, so I really don't care when I start.
Well, that works out okay. Joe,
can't wait to hear your neighbors.
What about you? Do you guys have any 4th of July traditions?
No.
4th of July traditions. Not really. Most of the time we're around here. Most of the time it's the Clear Lake Parade that we do. And then just kind of hang out is basically the tradition. And so this year we're skipping the parade and we're just hanging out.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. And Chris, I have 2 dogs, Jordy Nelson and Macy Crosby, named after Green Bay Packer players. And Macy's a female golden retriever, so that's why we went with Macy instead of Mason.
I like you for a reason. You are a big Packer fan, and to name them after 2 good Packer players, I got to give you props.
Yeah.
Here, Alan.
That's a true statement in this household. And anyway, 4th of July traditions, we don't really have any. Usually take the kids to the parade, but there is a parade in Buffalo Center tomorrow. But we alternate between the Clear Lake Parade and the one here in town. And then we're gonna do something new. We're gonna go out to my brother-in-law's, and he lives out on a farm, and they've got a adult-sized slip and slide, which this thing is like 200 yards. So down a hill. So we're going to go on that.
I'm not saying I want to see you without a shirt, Jared, but I think this is going to be some good stuff. Joe, don't even laugh.
Oh my God. Okay, so
I've seen him without a shirt. You don't want to see him without a shirt.
Yeah.
I think you need to do the whole like Chevy chase on the saucer downhill.
But that would
and video it for us.
Yeah, that would probably go over extremely well.
There you go.
So yeah, that's and then obviously stuff on the smoker, because that's kind of my hobby outside of work is to have smoked meat going for dinner and ribs and pork and all the deliciousness of the smoking grilling thing, which kind of leads me into my next question. With the July 4th holiday this weekend, typically us as Americans like to have something on the grill. What's going to be on your grill this weekend, Evie?
We're just going to do burgers and brats this weekend. Andy did talk last night about maybe picking up some ribs. So I think we've been talking about his grilling techniques. We've got a Green Mountain grill, and we're trying to convince all of our friends to buy one. So he's like, I think I'm going to throw some ribs on just so everybody knows what I'm talking about, which is fine with me. I love food. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, grilling on the 4th of July weekend. What about you, Joe? What's on your grill? Are you guys grilling this weekend?
Yeah. I ran to the store today. I got brats, evidently not the right kind of brats, but the note said brats. So I thought by getting brats, I would have gotten the right kind of brats. So we'll be having the wrong kind of brats, but they're going to be delicious. So that's I know we got brats, and then we've got I think we got some chicken to eat, and I don't know. Yeah, it's Snack City. I got a bunch of cheese curds too that are already half gone.
Oh. Gosh, we're referencing Wisconsin a lot.
I was just going to say,
that's where I'm from. I'm from Wisconsin. I was born in Marshfield. So Marshfield.
So we got Wausau, Marshfield, Green Bay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got.
Did you see the comments? There was a guy from what was it?
Denmark. That's my hometown.
Okay, and that's just outside of Green Bay, isn't it?
If anybody knows where Manitowoc is.
Yes.
Avery, that stuff. Yeah, just right in between Green Bay and Manitowoc, there's a community of about 2,500 people, Denmark, born and raised there.
Yeah, see, we used to go to, ironically, when we talk about 4th of July traditions, as a kid, we used to go to Lake Winnebago a lot by Neenah there, because my aunt and uncle owned a jewelry store in Neenah. Okay. So we used to go there a lot in the summertime.
Very popular.
Our grill this weekend, my brother-in-law is making brisket on the smoker, so we're having that. Okay. And I was supposed to fry a turkey for Thanksgiving, but it snowed that day, the Friday after Thanksgiving. So I didn't do that, so I've got all the materials to make a turkey in the fryer. So we're gonna try that in the driveway this weekend for 4th of July. So we'll see how that goes.
The same turkey?
No,
it's not the same turkey.
No.
Okay, good gosh.
No, Joe,
Man.
I bought that turkey.
Already thawed out.
I bought that turkey from Hy-Vee 2 days ago. So we've got it sitting in the it's the oil is from Thanksgiving, which is sealed. It's still good, just the oil. Because I got a turkey fryer for Christmas, and then my father-in-law gave me a turkey fryer, and I meant to use it over Thanksgiving, and we got snow, and then I went to start it, and I'm like, well, it's snowing pretty good right now. I really don't want this thing blowing up in my face, so I think I'll just cook the turkey on the grill instead, and that's what we did for Thanksgiving this year. So that worked out pretty good. Let's see here.
Can you throw that comment up from Georgia? Because that sounds delicious.
Bacon wrapped jumbo hot dogs from Louis at the lake. Those sound pretty good. So bacon wrapped jumbo hot dogs. I mean,
Louis has got those big hot dogs, like dome dog.
The beef ones are the best.
Oh yeah.
They gotta be beef hot dogs.
I think this is delicious, but Georgia should probably shorten her name. I don't want to have to say Georgia's full name all the time. Georgia Rickmeyer England. Is that even a real name?
Yeah. You don't know Georgia?
I don't know Georgia, but no. Thanks for
big Willie Nelson fan.
Georgia ITs.
Big Willie Nelson fan. So that's great. Well, thanks Georgia for watching here today, and enjoy your bacon wrapped jumbo hot dogs. They got them at Louis Meat Market in Clear Lake. So let's rush into some weather-related topics because we have a meteorologist on the program here. Let's see. Chris, do you get a rush when you're storm chasing? I know that you were just outside of our area on Sunday doing some stuff outside of the Forest City area when storms were rolling through. Do you get a rush when you're storm chasing?
Well, for so long, I was the one in the studio doing storm chasing, and Sunday was the first opportunity I've gotten in years that when there was severe weather, usually I had to go in the studio. I don't have to do that anymore. So it was amazing. Like it's fun for me to be able to, like, people are asking me, I know, hey, why don't you have someone come with you or do this with you or do that? Like for me, I like to go alone because I don't have to answer to anyone. I don't have, no one else has any control over what I'm doing. So I won't say there's necessarily a rush initially, but when you know you're on the right storm and you pick the right forecast with the right storm, that feels good. Because that's kind of what happened on Sunday was we had probably a better ingredient base for severe weather to our southwest, like near Fort Dodge, and a number of storm chasers went to Fort Dodge. I went to Albert Lee and kind of hung around. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait for some initiation, and then either I can jolt down to 35 or I can go on 90. Well, I ended up following that storm that came out of Britt and Garner, and then followed up to Lake Mills and just outside of Buffalo Center, and then rolled into Northwood and went east and all the way through Fillmore County. Well, I got hit with the hail. It wasn't bad hail, pea-sized hail, but when I was at the Come and Go outside the Northwood Casino, I had wind that was probably well over 60 miles an hour. My car, and I have a smaller kind of sports car, but it was shaking like back and forth violently. And I had a video that was I put out on my Facebook page. You guys may have seen this. You could see the tree, which is normal. And it was probably a 3-year-old tree, maybe. I mean, it was bent all the way over for a good amount of time. And then we had flooding just outside the station, the Come and Go station. And then I went to Northwood, and everything was flooded. Then I hopped on the storm, and I saw probably a half a dozen funnel clouds, and the storm rotated the whole time. And we ended up I did about 9 different chasers, and we were all taking turns following each other. We would get out, do some video, do some camera work, talk to each other a little bit, because I was doing a live at that point, and then continue to go. And we were all trying to stay along the storm in the southwestern part of the storm. And you want to do that. I don't know how well you guys know weather, but you want to stay on the southwestern side of the storm because that's where the tornadoes will develop. You get the inflow and you get the outflow. You can get the rear flank downdraft and the frontal downdrafts and updrafts. And it all works out in the balance, and that's what you look for tornadic development in the supercell. So that was, do I get a rush? I got a rush then watching a number of funnel clouds and just going, please, just drop a tornado already. And on my Facebook Live, I had I can't remember, it was a woman, and she's like, we don't want a tornado. Don't be wishing upon that. Exactly. Here's the deal. I don't want anyone getting hurt. I don't want any damage, but this is for science and excitement. Mary Jane or Diane or whatever her name was. So I still do get a little
Karen.
bit of rush, but it's fun. Yeah, I have to be careful about the Karen word now, right?
Yeah. And I can bring Joe Malone in on this, Joe, because you get a rush for doing severe weather coverage. Go ahead. You were at a question.
I was going to ask, how are you managing navigating and tracking the storm and doing the radar and doing all of that sort of stuff as a one-man show?
So for only being here about a year and 3 months there, and anyone will tell you this about yourself, like, you're good at some things and you're not so good at other things. I'm not a great driver, but I know geography and I've always had a knack for maps. And if you watch any of the severe weather coverage that I had at KIMT, I always knew the roads. I knew the interstates. I knew the county highways and the state highways. And I just know about 105. I mean, I know Highway 9. I know Highway 18. I know Highway 69. I know Highway 65. I know a lot of these little highways. And I know 105 is going to basically run you right through Northwood, and it'll bring you through Carpenter and eventually St. Ansgar. So I knew that. Every once in a while, I was jumping on my Google Maps just to be sure I knew exactly where I needed to be. But also, honestly, some of it was a little bit of luck.
Yeah. Well, I remember, though, I haven't storm chased, I think maybe once since I've had kids, just because the wife's like, you have kids. What are you doing? But I remember in my younger days, living in Renwick and chasing from Renwick and ending up in, I believe, Stanhope, which means that I crossed Highway 20 at some point in time. And I have no recollection of crossing Highway 20. This is back in the days before Google Maps and everything else. And we pulled over, we're getting hailed, getting the wind, as you were talking about this past Sunday. And I asked somebody as we're sitting underneath the awning of this gas station, where am I? And they're like, you're in Stanhope. And I'm like, how did I get on the other side of the highway?
Wow.
Just a singular focus of stare at the storm and drive. Yeah.
And especially if this isn't something that you do all the time, like for me, I'm super comfortable of where I am positioned for a storm, where some people, and I'm not saying you necessarily, Joe, but other people that are amateur storm chasers that don't know, all right, should I get this close? Am I worried? What kind of elements are here? Am I in danger? Like I knew I was not in danger by the position I was in. So I wasn't necessarily worried about that. I was making sure that I was staying in line with the storm and I had the best visuals possible. And I don't know if the storm chasers were following me after a while, but I know a few in North Iowa knew I was doing a live stream and they were making comments to me on the live stream. And I think at some point they were following me too. And we were I'll say I was lucky. I was in excellent position. And yeah, some of that's probably skill, but some of the storm chasing, I don't care what kind of education you have, some of it is sheer luck. It really is.
Sure, I believe that. And I know that speaking firsthand, with us doing the radio thing, I know that Joe and I kind of team up with severe weather coverage all the time at work. And sometimes when bad weather goes through and you're on the air, you kind of get that jump of emotion, like, oh yeah, okay, it's coming. Real. Yeah, this is real. And I wanted to be a meteorologist when I was a kid. That was actually my first choice for career, but I ended up doing the radio thing instead because I fell in love with the radio. But I kind of got the deal of being able to do both. Go ahead, Joe. You look like you are either of you two
jealous of my green screen back here? Are you getting some green screen jealousy?
Like, that has to be a green screen.
Yeah, it's wrinkled. I got to fix the wrinkles. I've been doing some construction down here, but it's my. Yeah.
I don't have one.
Yeah,
I'm jealous, man. Let me come over.
Yeah, I found out that a $4 app on my phone will let me chroma key, and then I went and spent like $70 at the fabric store to buy green fabric. So
and that's all you have to do. I'll talk to you about that. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's super, super cool. And then, Chris, how did you know when you wanted to be a meteorologist? I mean, obviously you do your job well. When did you first know growing up that that's what you wanted to do as a career?
I took the not so traditional path. So I loved sports and I loved partying, and all my weather and my career stuff moved aside so I could do some of that. So I considered actually going to a junior college to play basketball. Well, that didn't work out because I wasn't that great at basketball, but I sure love to party. And man, oh man, in Denmark, Wisconsin, there's not a lot to do besides farming, packers, hunting, and drinking, and that's pretty much what I was doing. I was partying a lot, and that's another reason why I don't really drink that much, because I can get myself into a little bit of trouble. That's the point. But when I was in my early 20s, I got a real itch for weather, and I had a itch my whole life, but I didn't know exactly how to get into it. I didn't realize at the time in high school that certain universities were offering meteorology school. I thought I had to go all the way down to Oklahoma or all the way down to Florida State. Well, it turns out we had two good universities in Wisconsin, UW-Milwaukee and UW-Madison. And I ended up going back to school when I was 22 or 23, I think, and finishing up I had some college credits prior to that, and ended up getting really, really lucky and nailing down a job in Las Vegas for my first job. So I was very, very fortunate. A lot of people start out in even smaller markets than we're in right now, markets 175 to 210, who knows? So I was very fortunate to start out in market 41, which is Las Vegas. And I ended up working my way up to chief in Wausau. And then I went to Milwaukee as the morning meteorologist. And then I came to KIMT, and then I was done at KIMT last week. So here I am.
So what's next for you? Okay, go ahead, Joe. I didn't mean to jump in.
I was going to say, being in Vegas, how many different words for hot did you have to learn for your forecast?
That's so funny because that's totally quiet. That's a question that I get a lot. And the best way I can explain it is every place on Earth is going to have different types of weather. And every place on Earth is going to think a little bit different season to season. So the seasons in Las Vegas, it's hot. Obviously, you get the hot season. You get the monsoon season. You get the wind season. And then you get a little mini winter season. And they're all a little different. It's not just hot. From the mid-June mark through about the third week of September, we get the monsoon season. And a lot of people think of the monsoon season as monsoon rain. It's actually a season where the winds change direction. You have more of a southwest wind. It turns more southeasterly, and that's going to bring in moisture. And that fires up big-time thunderstorms, high winds, flooding. I was on air once when there was a swift water rescue where someone died. So they do get precipitation, and they do get storms. It's just not like the Midwest where there's consistent, organized weather features that produce widespread thunderstorms, tornadoes, severe weather.
Sure.
Huh. You just think of the desert and it's just hot, but evidently not.
Yeah.
I've been to Vegas. I was there in 2008 for a family vacation. So, that's a long time ago already.
It's hot. Yeah.
All right, so this is a completely off-the-cuff, wasn't on the list question. Obviously, this weekend is that hot dog eating contest, where people suck down like 150 hot dogs in less than a minute or what.
Joey
something like that.
That's something, right? Something like that, or 50 hot dogs, or whatever it is. So if you had to be in an eating competition where you have to eat an enormous amount of food in a short period of time, what would be the food that you would love to eat? Like, could you handle, 30 hard-boiled eggs in a minute, or whatever the record. I'm just throwing that off
a minute.
I don't know.
2 minutes, 30 hard-boiled eggs, and be around anyone for the rest of their life.
that was just an off the cuff. That was just just completely random. So Evie, I'm going to start with you because you've been quiet over there, and I saw you come in the house.
I did, because there was a tractor going by, and he usually stops right across the road for about 15 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to hear a thing. Sorry about that. But anyway, I'm going to go with grapes.
Grapes. Grapes, yeah, because they're light, they're thin.
I know, it won't fill you up.
Here you go. We'll fan you as well.
I don't know. Yeah.
So grapes.
Still be around people afterwards. Yeah, I could eat 100 grapes and it'd be fine. I wouldn't even throw up. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
What about you,
It's not
Joe?
going to be 100 hot dogs.
Yeah, I don't think I could eat 100 hot dogs. So what about you, Joe? If you had to be in an eating competition and you had to pick a food that you'd have to eat as fast as you could, what food would it be?
Easy, bar none choice, potato cakes. I could do probably 100 potato cakes in 15 minutes.
100
Easy.
potato cakes?
That's the most random thing I think I've ever heard.
You don't like, how do you not, does anybody not like potato cakes? They're like the perfect food. They're portable, they're triangular in shape, they're deep fried. It is just, it's the best. And plus they sell them in 4-packs, so you only need to buy 25 of them to get to 100.
Potato cakes. That's an interesting. I know that Joe loves those things. Potato cakes.
Oh yeah.
I've never had one before.
Yeah, really.
What?
I don't think I've ever
Get
had
yourself to an Arby's, or as they may have been called back in the school days, a tri-tater. That was also another name. I go with the potato
There
cakes.
you go.
But you go get yourself some potato cakes and you will be a changed man or woman.
I don't think I've ever had one before.
Oh my goodness. If you like French fries or curly fries or hash browns, it's like that, but shaped like a triangle. It's amazing.
Okay.
There you go.
So, Chris, what about you? If you had to be in an eating competition and you got to pick the food that you could eat the fastest, what food would you choose?
I probably would go with tacos because we were on spring break when I was 19, and we ended up our car broke down in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we were at this dingy, terrible, like I should have probably had a weapon with me, making sure I didn't get robbed type of hotel. And in the morning, we walked about 1.5 miles to go to this Taco Bell, and my friends actually all put money on the table to see how many tacos I could eat. And from Taco Bell, and I ended up eating 14 tacos. And then I walked back, and back in the day I could really eat, and I wasn't that smart. So I had 14 tacos that I threw down, and I can still remember the feeling of just wanting to die, because I'm thinking in my head now, Taco Bell early in the morning, this is probably meat that they used or didn't want to use last night that they just threw on. Let's just give this 19-year-old kid, he's not going to know the difference, throwing it on my tacos. I was good. I didn't get sick. Well, I mean, I got sick, but not the way I could have gotten sick. But tacos. 14 tacos.
So go ahead.
Can I add a B to my answer? I want to add a B. I think I could eat a Crave case in 10 minutes if I were to sit down and do it. 50 White Castle sliders in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
50?
50?
10 minutes.
50
minutes.
White Castle sliders in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anybody do that?
No, we could
Knock down a Crave case?
we could probably make that happen though.
I'll
It would
throw
have to be. It would have to be on location. We'd have to go to Burnsville because I'm not reheating sliders and trying to wolf them down. That's got to be.
We could do it on location. Is that the closest? Is that the closest White Castle? Is Burnsville?
The closest is in Burnsville, and that's where the White Castle Challenge originates. And I'm not going to share how the White Castle Challenge works, but you can message me and I'll explain it. So,
well, see, Amy says that needs to happen. So,
I'll drive there. I don't care. I want to see this.
I feel like we're back in the great outdoors where they're trying to eat a 96-ounce steak in 10 minutes or whatever.
Oh, I guarantee. By 40, I'm probably going to hate myself, but the first 35 are definitely going to be delicious. Pickles, onions, the whole 9 yards.
Huh. I've never had White Castle, so I'd be willing to go along just for the ride so I could try a couple of White Castles.
No, not try a couple. The best way to experience your first White Castle is 50 at a time, Jared. You just got to go all in your first time out.
We're gonna have to get a wheelbarrow and get them out of there.
Yeah. That could get. I've never had White Castle. That's gonna have to be. That's on my bucket list. Every time we pass one somewhere, I have 2 teenage daughters, and my wife's like, nah, no, we're not gonna have that.
Chicken rings. You got the sliders. You got onion chips. It's so good.
Where else do they want to go? Applebee's or what? You got an Applebee's?
Well, they love Chick-fil-A or Culver's. They like Chick-fil-A, Culver's.
Culver's is good.
Wendy's. I mean, those types of places. Taco Bell. I mean,
Wendy's,
that's okay.
1994. It's been a long time. I didn't even realize that they have Wendy's still.
Yeah, they're still around. There's one in Mason City. There's one in Mason City. Yeah, there's one in Clear Lake too. There's one in Clear Lake. Yeah. I took my daughter had an orthodontist appointment last week, and I in Mason City, and I took her to Culver's in Clear Lake because that's like one of her favorite places. I'm like, it's a daddy-daughter time, so I was like, she likes Culver's, so I was like, okay, I'll hook you up with some Culver's. So anyway, July 4th holiday weekend. You all have a wonderful July 4th weekend. Chris, thanks for joining us. We'll have to do this again sometime, man. You're always welcome to stop by. I mean, if you're in the Buffalo Center area, look me up, and I'm usually got the smoker going on the weekends. So,
well, next Monday, this coming Monday, I am going to be in Lake Mills for the Twister premiere that's going to be in the theater.
Oh, for real?
Oh, real?
Yeah.
Wow.
I shouldn't say premiere, but like they're running Twister, I think, from July. I think tomorrow through the 9th, and I say premiere, but Monday is when I'm going to be going there checking that out. So I think that's going to be a good time. I saw it in the theater. It must have been in '96 when it came out, and this will be the second time going out to see it. But I'm a little bit older, and it's 24 years later. So
yeah, I saw that in the theater when I was in high school. Go ahead, Joe.
Best movie with a tornado: Twister, The Wizard of Oz, or 2012?
2012 was terrible. I gotta go. Like, Wizard of Oz is pretty darn good.
Yeah, that one.
Wizard?
Well, I have Twister on right now. Can you see that in the background?
Oh, okay. That's what that is. Okay.
Yes, it's Twister. So
yeah,
I got to go Twister. But who doesn't love The Wizard of Oz? That's one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah, I've got
because it's OG. Yeah.
I've got soccer on NBCSN because Joe's got me hooked in soccer.
How is that going, by the way? Has Liverpool come back or no?
Manchester City beat Liverpool 4-0.
Garbage.
The game must have just got over because it was just on the screen, and I need my sports fix. So awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining the United Beverage Virtual Happy Hour. We got to talk about the beer. I know that Chris is kind of on a schedule here. He's got to be somewhere else here in a few minutes, but we've got Joe's got White Claw. We've got Spritzen. What is that? Is that grapefruit Spritzen?
It's a Leinenkugel. Yeah.
Leinenkugel Spritzen. We have the Blue Moon Belgian wheat. Thanks to our good friends at United Beverage. Have a safe, awesome 4th of July. Thanks for joining us here on the Star 106. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I'm just waving by.
Yeah, we should probably real quick. We're gonna throw up Tammy. She's in the background.
Good.
I gotta throw up. I gotta do is an overlay here. I did it wrong, but I want to throw up. We gave away this awesome prize pack earlier today. Joe went to Sheffield and awarded Tammy with this cool stuff. So she got this awesome cooler there. Compliments of Star 106 and pretty cool stuff there. So of course Century 21.
Shout out to Ray Stearns.
Absolutely, Century 21 preferred realtor here. In Mason City. So, Chris Nelson, thanks for joining us. We'll have to do this again soon, man.
Hey, I got a little bit more time in my hands. So, Jared and Joe and Abby, anytime you need me to come on, I am a free man most days. So, let me know and I'll be back on. Love to talk weather or life, or you can ask me any gosh darn question you want.
That's right. Next potential severe weather outbreak, we'll have to have you on. So you can fill us in and keep us up to date. So
I'm game.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you. Thanks for joining us for the United Beverage Virtual Happy Hour.